So I'm going to need a little help this week because I missed the debate that happened between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris because I was busy on my back porch putting together a fire table. But when I walked out there the night of the debate to do that fire table, I noticed our privacy fence. And the reason we put up a privacy fence was because our neighborhood that we just moved into, it's exploding. People are moving in all over the place. In fact, about every one house that is sold, there's 10 families that are wanting to get into it. And all of that, the lack of supply, the increased demand has caused prices, home prices, to skyrocket. And so I'm thinking about all of that, and I thought, man, I wish that I could tune into the debate so that I could hear how Harris and Trump were going to deal with the rising costs of homes and what their policy was, because I'm sure that was one of the first questions that they asked.
Mr. President, on January 6th, you told your supporters to march to the Capitol. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day?
Oh. Well, anyway, as I was out there, I heard the door open and I looked around and it was my wife. She'd just come home from the grocery store, which made me think immediately, I did not transfer some money from our account into the other account so that we could actually buy these groceries because they're a little expensive right now. And that made me think, I'd like to know what Donald Trump and Kamala Harris were planning on doing about the increase in inflation that's caused groceries to be a lot more expensive. I'm sure that was a topic that they asked a lot about.
We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change. The question to you both tonight is, what would you do to fight climate change?
Oh. Well, as I was thinking about the economy, I started thinking about the economic strain that has been put on the country because of this massive influx of illegal immigration across our unmaintained southern border. And even the greatest humanitarian understands there has to be some element of control and caution and order, some kind of plan to deal with that in a respectable and effective way. So I wonder how the candidates are going to respond to that, because I assume it probably dominated a lot of the time of the debate.
Mr. President, for 3.5 years after you lost the 2020 election, you repeatedly falsely claimed that you won, many times saying you won in a landslide. Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge.
Oh. Well, as I was thinking about the economy, I started thinking about the economic strain that has been caused in a lot of communities and a lot of states by the massive influx of illegal immigration that, of course, everybody knows has been flooding across our border, and the fentanyl crisis and the human trafficking that's come from it. And even the greatest humanitarian that cares for refugees certainly understands there has to be some caution and some order. There has to be a responsible handling of our nation's borders. So I wonder what Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are saying about that, because I'm sure it's dominating the vast majority of the debate.
Vice President Harris says that women shouldn't trust you on the issue of abortion because you've changed your position so many times. Therefore, why should they trust you?
Well, as I continued working out there and not watching the debate, I heard a siren scream by, and I couldn't tell if it was an ambulance or a police car, but my mind immediately went to the recent spike in our community of crime, and I realized that we are a lot better off than a lot of people in other cities where lawlessness is becoming a very real fear for families. And so I thought, I wish I could hear how Kamala Harris or Donald Trump is going to handle the increasing lawlessness that communities and cities and states are dealing with. I'm sure they were asked about that.
We won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote. Is that what you believe he's trying to do here?
Oh. Well, as I continued working, I saw my middle daughter walk by the door, and she's growing up so stinking fast. Just told us the other day that she wants to be a surgeon. Yeah, that was really encouraging when I looked at the skyrocketing price of college and thought, we don't exactly have $15,000 to $20,000 a year to pay for her to go to a school. So does that mean she's going to incur like $80,000 to $100,000 worth of debt? Is there a plan to deal with the unnecessary spike in costs of college tuition, since so much of it has been fueled by the government taking over the loan process? I wonder what they said about that when they were asked it in the debate.
Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
Okay, so here's the deal. I know if I talk to Trump people, they'll tell me that Trump won the debate. And if I talk to Harris people, they'll tell me that Harris won the debate. But I just got to be honest and maybe break it to you that if the two people who are so desperate to take over and run our lives are not even asked questions that pertain to our lives and the realities that we face, I don't care who won, there is one obvious loser in such a debate, and that's us.
I want to move on now.